Good afternoon, this is Melissa with thestockswoosh.com, and today I'm going to discuss with you ARO. This was a gap down play from the 17th, it was Friday. Gap down in the morning. This is a nice gap, okay? It did not set up in the way that I had hoped. However, that being said, it did set up, and if you stuck with it, it worked. And if you wanted to play it for several moves in it and just chunk away some money on the day, that worked too, because it did everything right. It really did, okay? If you know how to read this stuff, it really did what it was supposed to do. It just took a while to get going and get the real momentum under it. That being said, it still was a beautiful gap, and the direction is down, and it will continue down. And in fact, this is going to gap down Monday morning. I guarantee you this thing is going to gap down Monday morning. So this is a watch. You cannot play smaller time frame charts intraday in the morning on gap down continuations. You can play them on higher time frame charts on continuations, however, not the same way that I teach. Okay, it's a different play when they continue. So, first it gaps down. This was Friday. Beautiful move. You can play it the way that gaps are to be played. The continuation moves you have to play differently. Okay, I teach a different way to play the continuation moves. So if we're going to look to do this next week, you have to look for a higher time frame. Okay. However, it's lower. It just ran out of day here. You can even see this. You could just draw this down. This wanted to go harder, and it just ran out of day. Okay, let's see what happened with the 15-minute chart. This worked. Went up here, dinged an area, came back in, tried to go, couldn't, retested, tried to go, couldn't, retested, finally went. What happens is these gaps, I love to see them go in the morning. It's the best time for me. I just love it. However, if they don't go in the morning, they will go later. So you look for them to go in the morning. You expect them to go in the morning. You want them to go in the morning. Just if they don't give up on them, because the gap analysis is correct. Okay, the gap analysis is correct. You go through the 26-point rating system. It's right. Don't give up on the trade. You may just have to be patient some days, and this was one of those days. I could tell as I was trading this that the real momentum hadn't kicked in with this yet. It was trying and it hadn't kicked in. It kicked in the afternoon. So you could have played this two ways. You could have been in this and waited, got the whole move. Or you could have been in this and played it, got out, booked the money, played it again, got out, booked the money, played it again, got out, and booked the money. You could have gotten a couple moves in this because it never did anything really wrong. And it kept retesting the same area, which would have given you more conviction. Okay? It's a nice play. And it is lower. It needed to break 1220 was an area it really had to get through to really start to get going, and then it did it. It was so late in the day that it just ran out of day. It's a nice gap, though. So let's look at what happened here on this chart. Okay. Remember, do not give up on these if they don't work with momentum right away. They will at some point in the day of the gap. Just up to you how long you want to sit at the computer and trade all day, and if you want to suffer through rallies, or if you want to just book money into every drop and get back in. You could have either taken your money into this drop and got back in, take your money again, or you could have added every time it retested the same area and gotten a bigger position at a same price, which you don't always get a chance to do with these gaps. I could have had a really nice position into that drop under the low of the day that happened into the close. So there was a lot of different ways to play this, and they were all successful if you knew where to get into this thing and if you knew how to read the gap and had conviction in it. The only people that played this trade successfully on Friday because it didn't set up right away perfectly is people that know how to read gaps and had conviction. So you could have taken it here, gotten a drop, first target, had a move in the morning. This is not a huge move for ARO. ARO can move $2 in a day, $2.50, $3. So you got this move, and then it was really trying. I was in this thing, it was trying, it was struggling. And every time it would come up, it would get taken out again. Every time it would come up, it would get taken out again. Every time it would rally up, it got taken out again. It wanted to go. Don't get scared out of these things. There's a difference between something reversing, where people are getting out in profits, completely on the trade, like we talked about in that Marvell when it started reversing, or what was happening here. People aren't taking profits in this. This thing hasn't even gotten going yet. Who's taking profits in this? A 30-cent drop in ARO? No one's taking profits in this. There's no reason to get scared. Now, you could have taken profits if you wanted to keep playing it for moves. Okay? It's one way to play it. However, this is not a sign the trade's over. It hasn't even started really yet. Does everyone understand that this is important, okay? This is why you really got to be able to read this stuff, what's going on here. When we talked about Marvell, and we showed where that tried to touch down and it couldn't, at the 30 mark, and it held, and then it started to rally, that was it. The trade was over. It wasn't going to go. It had its chance. It was into lunch. It tried all morning. It had the move. It had the momentum. This didn't start the momentum yet. So this is not people taking profits in short. Okay? This is a retest. Look at this again. Okay? It's just wiggling and jiggling, but it's not doing anything wrong. And it's trying hard to go. Why did it take so long to go? Who knows? Who cares? You don't lose conviction in the trade. Don't lose conviction in your analysis. It all comes down to this. This is where it all happens. This is why my 26-point Golden Gap rating system is so good. Because when you look at all these things and you take all the pieces together in the puzzle and you've got all the things to look at, you've got conviction. You've got conviction to know you are right on your bias. This is going to work. You cannot predict exactly what time everything's going to happen. Okay? You have to play it out. But you stay with the conviction. You stay with the trade. You trade it properly and know what you're looking for, know what you're looking at. Know that this activity is not buying, and it's not people getting out of shorts that were short in this gap, okay, except for maybe a couple people that were just took this in the morning, a few. This isn't a mark that the move is over. The move didn't even happen yet. In fact, the move barely begun on Friday because it started so late. The lesson on this one is these things sometimes, don't set up picture perfect the way that we hope. But then again, when you go back and look at them, or when you're in the moment and you know everything you're supposed to be checking and watching, like I do, it actually did. It actually did. Open and boop, dinged up there. I know it would have been great if it would have just opened here and gone. But, it didn't. Doesn't mean anything that it did was wrong. Okay? Don't let this scare you out of the trade. So this was a nice trade. This is a really nice trade, and I'd like you to watch this lower, and we'll go back and check in on this next week because it'd be interesting to see really where this thing goes. I know that it's going to go under 12. It just didn't do it on Friday. No reason to give up hope. Stick with it. Have your conviction. Go through the 26-point rating system. Go through your analysis. Stay with it. If they don't happen in the morning, they happen in the afternoon. Sometimes they work all day, and that's great. However, just know that even if it doesn't go in the morning, don't give up on it, okay? Stay with it. This is Melissa at thestocksquish.com. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at melissa@thestocksquish.com. Thank you.